as far as approaching people that know nothing about it, I've have this story that I tell friends sometimes, this approach that I say, well, what is astrotometry? Okay, well, think about this. And if they understand astronomy, if they've locked in the facts that people think they know about the nature of the universe, what's outside the Earth's orbit, if they've locked in those pre-programmed facts from the mainstream media, you can kind of work with them and show them a contradiction in their worldview very simply. And all they need is their birthday. They need to know where they were born, like their place of birth. The other thing you need to know is where north, south, east, west is, because you have to be able to figure out where north, south, east, west is. And so you have them point to where they were born. Where were you born? And so they point, for me, it's that way. Basically, it's kind of that way, east, over in the east direction that way. And so you have them point to where they were born. And, well, what year were you born? And they say, oh, I was born in 1968. Where was the Earth relative to where it is now in 1968? Ask them the question, where was the planet then relative to where it is now? Of course, they have no idea. So they think they know where they were born. But as the planet moves through space, we don't track that. We don't think about that. That's what astrotometry is about. Astrotometry is about where it was with respect to where it is now. And so that's a really good way to try to explain to them. And then you ask them, okay, where was the sun? Well, obviously it was near the Earth, right? And if they know anything about astronomy, they know that the solar system is supposedly moving at an incredible speed, like way faster than the Earth is going around the sun. Supposedly, the solar system is moving out from the place where the beginning of the galaxy was, and then the beginning of the universe, galactic center, and then universe center, and the supposed Big Bang, from which everything is expanding and accelerating by some accounts, which doesn't really make sense. If they understand that, if they believe that, you can show that to be a contradiction by asking them, okay, well, what if you were a lot older? What about the light that was traveling from the sun back then? Where is it now? You think about that light that was emanating from the sun when you were born. Where is that light now? Where did it go? How does it travel with respect to where you are now? So far away from where you were actually born, when you don't even usually think about the fact that the place in absolute space that you were born is someplace very different than where you are. And so that's the way, but I only would approach someone who had an understanding of astronomy with that. Because if you try to explain that to someone that doesn't know that the Doppler shift indicates that the universe is expanding, and that it has a particular form, and it doesn't understand all of this other stuff, they're not going to be able to follow you. They're not going to be able to have that confidence. They're not going to be able to think for themselves. And I don't want followers. I don't want people to just take my word for things. That's not what, I don't learn that way. And I am very fond of learning and advancing. And so I want to challenge people with this information. And, you know, there's not been anybody that's provided a scientific challenge or refutation for the stuff that I've been presenting. Kalon99, I think from Switzerland, caught me on an issue with the Earth spinning. I thought that the centrifugal force would be larger than it is. It's the centrifugal force. I made a video that said the centrifugal force would be more than it actually is, but it is significant. It is significant and it is theoretically measurable, but it's immeasurable. There is no detectable centrifugal force on the Earth, and so because of that, you really have to question the movement from the geocentric model to the heliocentric model. And if you actually understand what Genesis was getting at, in the misinterpretation, mistranslation of the word Selah into the word day, Galileo was wrong. And so there's these Catholic apologists that are going to be jumping up and down with joy because of astrotometry. There's a lot of people in the more spiritual camps that are going to really love astrotometry, because it makes the world, it demonstrates scientifically that the world is way more complicated than we'd ever imagined, and that the structure of the cosmos is at least multidimensional, if not downright intelligent itself.